Happy Monday. I'm Jaime Greene, the Solar Queen, and I am live on several platforms. But I really wanted to talk to the folks watching on LinkedIn. So I've been posting and sharing things all about solar energy and how solar power works and different ways that companies can benefit from solar power. So this live stream is really focused on solar power and how it works. So, first off, I want to invite anyone who's watching this, even if you're watching on the replay, to make sure you share this out because this content could be very, um, it could save companies and businesses a lot of money if they hear this message and understand how solar power works, which is the whole topic of today's live stream. So, if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you like it. And if you're willing to subscribe to my channel, that will always help me. Let me know that you like the content and I'll continue to create it. So for the purposes of this live stream, though, I am going to be talking about how does solar power work. So we've been hearing all these initiatives, from the government that we want to be, hit these targets of being 50% renewable energy by 2030 or 2040. And that's great and all, but really we've only hit about 15%, maybe 20% renewable energy. And I would venture to say that's solar and wind renewable energy combined. So I only specialize right now in solar power, both on the residential side and commercial side. This is going to be geared more towards just the general audience in how does solar power work. So, and I'll kind of cater it towards commercial industrial solar. Uh, just because that's the road that I am going down. So, how does solar power work? Well, the first thing that happens is solar panels get installed on a rooftop, on a carport, a ground mount, or a tracker. A tracker is like a pole mount, and it tracks the sun. So it's really awesome technology, and the trackers are going to generate more energy for you with the same or less solar panels than a fixed ground mount carport or rooftop. The reason why we go with rooftop for big buildings is because we have that real estate, so we don't have to use up land, and we can just affix the solar panels right onto the rooftop. If you don't have enough rooftop space, then the next logical step is going to be installing a carport or a ground mount or a tracker. So carports are nice because they can act as shade structures, which is really cool. And in places where we get a lot of sun and it gets hot in the summertime, I think people who drive their cars would rather park under a shade structure rather than leaving it out in the hot sun. So the solar panels get installed on a rooftop or carport. And then each solar array or solar system they're going to have inverters that convert the power that the solar panels generate, which is in DC and direct current energy. It gets converted into alternating current, or AC power to be used in the facility or the building or the home. So every solar system has to have this inverter to convert the power to be usable real time. So energy then is consumed in real time. So right now, the sun is shining here in California. My computer, my lighting, everything that's plugged into power right now is being solar powered, which is really amazing. So we have right now no dependency on the utility company. And that is really what you're going to do when you get solar is you're going to be less reliant on the utility company. And if you haven't been paying attention to headlines across the country, energy companies are increasing their rates for not only natural gas, but also for electricity. New York, parts of New York, the utility companies have issued letters saying sorry, business owners and homeowners, but we're raising your rates and we're sending you this letter because you know, there's nothing we can do about it. Your energy costs are going up. I think Con Edison has done the same thing. I know PG&E, in California utility companies have said you're going to see rate increases. We've already seen them 3 times now in the state of California, rates increasing. And in fact, I was just looking at a utility bill today for a homeowner actually who has they're still on the tiered rate system, and tier 1 is at 32 cents a kilowatt hour. Tier 2 is at 39 cents a kilowatt hour, and the high surcharge, when you go into high surcharge, they're paying close to 50 cents, 49 and a half cents a kilowatt hour. And this is expensive. So what happens when you get solar power and your solar starts working for you is you're no longer relying on the utility company to provide you with electricity through generation, transmission, and distribution. So you eliminate that need and those charges, and you replace it with a solar system, which there are several ways you can buy a solar system. You don't even, if you're a business and you don't want to buy a solar system, you just want to fix your electricity rates, there's something called a power purchase agreement where you can just purchase the power at a fixed rate for the next 20, 25 years. If you are a company and you have net operating expenses that you want to reduce or you want to keep the same, again, you can purchase your system. You can take advantage of the 26% federal tax credit. You can take advantage of the accelerated depreciation, and you can recoup those initial expenses for your solar system, oftentimes in the very first year of having your solar system, which makes your ROI that much faster on a commercial system. So also, if you live in a state where there are SRECs, which are state renewable energy credits, states like New Jersey, Massachusetts, Virginia, I believe Pennsylvania has some, Illinois has SRECs. There are states that will pay you, the owner of the solar system, renewable energy credits that will also reduce your bottom line for your energy, and your ROI is that much faster if you are in a state with SRECs. Places like California, those are long gone. But these states, there's a big initiative to get more renewable energy in their states. So when you have excess energy that's generated by the sun that you can't use in real time, it has to go somewhere, and it's going to go back out to the grid. Uh, there are several states and several utilities that have net energy metering that is favorable to homeowners and business owners. If you don't live in a state with net energy metering, that's a 1-to-1 net exchange or ratio, you might have something like net billing, and that's where you you true up or you settle up every single month for the energy that your system generated and the energy that you consumed, and you basically settle those accounts. Places in like Ameren in Illinois, they have net billing. They still have net metering, but they settle up their net billing on a monthly basis. So, excess energy is sent to the grid, and you're given a net energy credit to use at a later time of day or later time of the year. And this is called net metering. So that is something that gets set up and arranged between you and the utility company, you, the owner of the system, and the utility company. Oftentimes, they're going to be 10 to 20-year net metering agreements. And it's important to get those locked in. Places like California, we're moving towards net metering 3.0, and it's still not as favorable. It's not as favorable as net 2.0. So if you're a business owner or homeowner in California and you're thinking of solar, and you're just, you're fed up with the energy cost and you want to reduce your net operating expenses, this is a wonderful way to do it with renewable energy that comes from the sun. So The other thing that you can do as a business or even as a homeowner is you can get batteries to store excess power. Um, so rather than it going to the grid first, it's going to go and recharge your batteries so that you can use those batteries at a later during the most expensive time of day, which are peak hours. Typically, we're seeing it 4 to 9 p.m. With the utility companies that are enforcing time of use. So time of use is a billing mechanism that they use for when did this business use their power? Did they use it during the non-peak hours? Did they use it during the peak hours? Same with the homeowners. Typically, it's 4 to 9 p.m. So if you have batteries and you can store the energy that's generated during the non-peak hours and store it into the batteries, this is excellent for the facilities that say are 24/7 and also have a demand on the grid, so they get the utility companies enforce or bill that company with demand charges. When we understand when those demand charges happen and you get storage or you get a battery, you can use that battery to hopefully reduce, I don't want to say eliminate, but sometimes we can, but greatly reduce those demand charges that are separate from the service charges, which are the generation, distribution, and transmission charges that the utility companies are charging you. So batteries work in a way to help alleviate demand charges from the utility company and also alleviate using power during the more expensive time of day, which is usually 4 to 9 p.m., which is the peak demand time of day here in America. So that is what I wanted to discuss today on the live stream is really how does solar power work? It's really going to, you're going to get the solar panels installed on your rooftop, on a carport, ground mount, whatever it might be. And the goal is to reduce your kilowatt hour rate. And with the utility companies, it just continues to climb and there's no end in sight. And they can continue to do this as long as their public utility commissioner allows them to do so. So you might be living in a state where you're only paying 12 cents a kilowatt hour or 15 cents a kilowatt hour. You might be living in a state where it's 30 cents a kilowatt hour. When you go solar, you're going to greatly reduce the kilowatt hour rate and sometimes down into the single digits, thanks to the tax credit, thanks to depreciation, and you lock that rate in. And once the solar system, if you purchase it, once the solar system's paid off, and for businesses, it might be an ROI of 3 to 5 years, some maybe 7 years if it's like massive ground mounts all over, like over many, many acres of land. You might not recoup all those costs as quickly as, say, a rooftop installation, just given the nature of the cost of steel, the cost of conduit, and all the electrical components that are and the fact that panels have the price of modules, solar panels, they're increasing in cost. So everything is going up in cost, just like the rest of us. We're facing inflation and interest rates are rising. You really, really ought to do yourself a favor if you are, say, in accounting, you're the chief financial officer, you're the controller of the business, you're in charge of the facilities and energy management. You really should take a look at renewable energy regarding reducing your net operating expenses. You're going to see a massive savings, and it could be the thing that helps alleviate that stress over the financial picture for your business and help you not lose sleep at nighttime. So if this is the case and you are interested in solar for your business, I would love for you to reach out to me, so we can we can look at your needs and analyze that. We can hop on a discovery call and find out what are your goals, what are your objectives, and what do you want to accomplish financially? Do you have tax liability to be able to purchase and own the system? If you're in a leasing situation, a power purchase agreement might be the right thing to go about. If you're a nonprofit, a big nonprofit organization, you're going to be looking at a power purchase agreement, and we're going to be helping you figure that out on the financial side. So I want to help you reduce your operating expenses, reduce your energy costs. If you're a homeowner and you're watching this, you can also reach out to me. I do help on the residential side as well. And that's really my message for today. So please reach out to me if this is something that you want to discuss. And tomorrow I will be talking about the ways that you can purchase or lease or do a power purchase agreement for a commercial property. So have a wonderful Monday and make it a great day. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks so much.